Hello, and welcome to our first ever
Bonus
top 10.
episode.
That as well. Our top 10 animes for newbies and people that haven't seen them yet.
Top 10 introduction to anime series.
Yeah. Slash films.
We've got a list of 10 each. We'll go through one each at a time and maybe just give a few thoughts on them.
And just some general information about each anime.
So who wants to kick off?
I'm fucking excited about this, but I don't want to go first.
Alright, I suppose I'll start first. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. You should
Right.
watch it. Absolutely cracking animation. Soundtrack is amazing. And just, I like the art style. The whole stupid, when they've done something wrong, their faces just dropped. I don't even know what that's called.
Do you know how many episodes?
There is 53, I believe, or 54. There's 5 parts to it.
Should I go next?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's start with a bit more of an obscure one. It's called Tonari no Sekikan. It came out in 2004. It's got 21 episodes. And it's just about a boy who brings different activities to play during class, and this girl who sits next to him who just gets distracted by what he does. But it's just like a really fun, easy watch.
Is that slice of life?
Yeah.
I'll start with an obscure one as well. So I basically had I tried to get one for every sort of audience. So this one was for young girls and 90 kids. So can you guess what it is?
Sailor Moon?
Yeah, Sailor Moon. I thought it was like a good introduction to anime. It's got like the transformations in magical girls, basically its whole genre now. Its own thing. It's a 90s cartoon. There's 200 episodes, 3 movies and 3 short films. It's well known, so you can probably talk about it with other people and they'll know what it is.
It has a massive cosplay fan base, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So I've gone for quite an obscure one, which has a fantastic story. Baccano. Is it 1920s? Kind of like...
Yeah, I think it feels quite 1920s, like
Yeah, in
Prohibition kind
America,
of period, doesn't it?
It's just a great story. 16 episodes. Came out in 2007. I would recommend it if you kind of like that. What would you say it is? Kind of like an investigation, kind of.
Almost supernatural elements as well.
Yeah.
Psychological.
It's an action adventure.
So I've gone for a movie for my second one. That's Howl's Moving Castle. Came out in 2004. I think a lot of people have probably seen it, but any Studio Ghibli movie is a good place to start with anime anyway. But for me, Howl's Moving Castle, I think is the best bet. It's got incredible animation, amazing story, and epic music.
I'll go for a movie as well then. It's probably one that someone's put, and it's Your Name, because I mentioned it quite a lot.
Damn it.
Do you have that one?
Yeah, I do.
Do
I
you want to
fucking
talk
love
about
that
it?
film.
Add
No, I'll
on
let
to
you
whatever
go.
I say?
I'll add on to whatever you say, yeah.
Okay. Japanese name, Kimi no Nawa, came out in 2016, is an hour and 50 minutes long, and at the box office, I looked up the amount it made, and it's 41.4 billion, which I thought was amazing, but then I realised that was in yen. It's got quite a lot of Japanese culture in it. Everywhere where it's filmed is a real place. Is that fair to say? Or it
Yeah.
probably is a real
Yeah,
place.
actually, yeah.
Probably good for all ages as well. Anyone to watch. Fun for all the family. It's like a drama, fantasy, slice of life, Freaky Friday sort of thing.
It has a beautiful soundtrack and some time distortion elements to it as well. It is a beautiful film. That's the thing that gripped me about that one is the soundtrack to it.
And it's nice to watch even if you don't pay attention to the story. Just the aesthetic and the visuals are nice.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go for a newish one. So, Seven Deadly Sins. I went for it purely because it's on Netflix currently and it's still being developed, so I don't know how many episodes there are going to be. And it is just easy to watch and funny. It has a lot of humour in it and a
And
talking
fan
pig.
service.
Not what I like about it.
I thought it's worth
I
bringing
just
up.
like
It's called fan service for a reason.
True, but I like the medieval and kind of like power fighting side of it.
So for my next one, I've got Naruto. It came out in 1999. The first Naruto series has 210 episodes, and then it goes on to Shippuden, which is where the show gets better and better. Out of all the big long-running shonen shows, I think for me Naruto is the best place to start. About an orphan boy who's shunned by the village he's from and follows the hardship he endures to achieve his goal to become Hokage, the leader of the village. It's just got amazing fight scenes, incredible artwork.
We could probably have a separate episode just talking about Naruto, probably, because
Yeah.
it's its own franchise now, isn't it? It's got 3 shows, and just how after 200 episodes, still you're making connections between the characters, and you're like, oh no way, this is him.
I think for me, for a starting point for a shonen, it even tops Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball.
It's definitely good for new people, but there's
I
a lot to
suppose-
get through.
And then you will get all the memes as well. So there's quite a lot of memes from it, isn't there?
Don't know.
Alright, you guys are a bit behind. Alright.
I put My Hero Academia. Good for everyone again. It's a superhero shonen high school anime. Got a lot of action. It's very current. It's still going on now. It's a banger, so you should watch it if you haven't. I think there's no reason why everyone wouldn't like it.
No, it's got something for everybody, for sure. And especially in this day and age where superheroes are so big, it's got such a cool concept on their powers and, you know, how they're developed and stuff.
Yeah, so it's a shonen, but they're in a high school setting where the world is full of superheroes, and they all have their. I wrote a joke. There's lovable characters, and they all have their quirks.
I like it.
And yeah, there's a character for everyone. Icy Hot is probably like one of my favorite characters ever, and they all have ranks for their superhero stuff. It's got everything.
Graham?
Should I skip this one? Because I had Your Name.
So I've rotated it again, so I've going on for another movie. The Boy and the Beast came out in 2015. It's just a great family film that everyone can enjoy. It's about a boy who stumbles across an alternate world that's inhabited by upright, walking and talking animals. The boy gets taken in by a rough and ready bear who is potentially in line to become next Grandmaster of the Beast World. Brilliantly done fantasy martial arts movie with talking animals. It's great.
It is good.
I've got a controversial one now. It might not be good for new people, but I reckon if that's what you're into, then
Is it High School DxD?
no, it is Devilman Crybaby. Came out in 2018. It's only one season of 10 episodes. So if you're an adult that likes weird psychedelic sort of stuff, then I think you'll like it. Because I remember in episode 1, he's just a normal guy. He gets turned into a demon, and then it goes a bit crazy. But the story's still good, even though you sort of don't know what's going on, but you just sort of go with it and like it for the visuals, I guess. It's a dark fantasy action sort of thing. He goes into a club, and I just remember seeing tentacle tits, and that's all I took from it.
I'm going to go for a darker one, Attack on Titan. Very, very popular currently, and it has a great story. A good first anime to watch if you want something a little darker and not for kids.
And the world around it is made in episode 1. Like, you know what the world is about.
Yeah.
Straight away.
I'd say season 1 has a few, there is that bit in the middle where they're going through their training. It's not boring, it's just a bit slower. But then it speeds up quickly straight away after that.
I think that's pretty integral to the story with the rest of the story with what happens after. It goes 0 to 120 very quick.
Yeah, George.
Fullmetal Panic came out in 2002. I'm not going to say anything else on this because I'm going to be talking about it in a lot more length next episode, and you'll get my full thoughts then. It's a great anime to start with.
One Punch Man is my next one.
Great show.
Yeah, it's just easy to watch. In Japanese, I looked up the name, and phonetically it just says One Pan Man. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That's what it said. 12 episodes. It's like a comedy, deadpan superhero series. But there's I don't know why they just chucked aliens and stuff in there as well. Like the world gets attacked by aliens. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he's just a normal guy that did a moderate amount of exercise every day, and it made his hair fall out, so he's bald. And he has a really shiny head, and that's the comedy part most of the time. And his facial expressions. And I think he uses like washing up gloves as his part of his costume or something like that. And yeah, it is what it says it is. Straight away you know what it's about.
I was going to go for Death Note. Again, it is dark, very dark. There's only 2 seasons, I believe. And it is one of those where people want the bad guy to win, and you also want the good guy to win.
Well,
but you don't know he's a bad guy?
Yeah,
He's not
part
a
of
bad
it
guy.
is making up your own mind who you want to win.
Yeah, he's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a, what would you describe it as? Investigation genre?
Supernatural
kind of
investigation.
supernatural. Yeah.
In a police setting. And there's a live action version of it if you want to watch it. But
Isn't there an English live action one as well?
There's a Netflix live action, which is awful, and then I personally don't mind the Japanese live action.
Still not great though. Still not as good as the anime.
So back to a movie for me, Redline, came out in 2009. So this film's more on the crazy end of the anime spectrum. It has fast-paced racing with stylish visuals and likeable characters. It's about a racer called JP who competes in the most popular race event in the galaxy.
I watched it. I cannot tell you anything about it apart from it was racing. I watched it all the way through and didn't fall asleep, so I must have liked it.
I think for like the style factor and the way it looks, it's a good introduction to the different styles of anime you get.
For the next one, I put another sort of weird one, but Tokyo Ghoul came out in 2014. In Japanese, this one, it said Tokyo Guru. Tokyo Guru? I don't know. So it's 2 seasons of 24 episodes. I would say this is probably older people, not kids. It's got Japanese culture because it's set in Japan, but it's a guy getting used to being in a different underground world that lives amongst everyone. And I wouldn't say this was my favourite anime, but it's got parts in that I'm never gonna forget. There's like a torture scene and stuff as well, and it's just crazy. It's about I won't spoil it, but yeah, it gets weird, but it's good.
An oldie but a classic, Trigun.
I said someone would have that.
Yeah, you did.
I thought George would have had it on his list, so I wouldn't have to talk about it much.
Sorry, I don't.
Have you got Cowboy Bebop then?
No.
What?
This list is different to my personal favourites. So
yeah, no, but I went for easy watching, and these are the ones that you suggested to me that I start with. So what was I going to say? So Trigun stars. I can say one of the best voice actors out there. Is it Johnny Bosch? Wasn't he a Power Ranger?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
If any of you are old enough to remember the original Power Rangers. Yeah, so it is an easy anime to follow. The story, each episode has its own story, but an overarching story reveals itself eventually, and the characters are amazing in it. Also, I'd recommend it if you like spaghetti westerns and old-fashioned shoot-ups.
So for me, my next one is Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. Came out in 2004. This show is a great introduction into what anime can be without all the action and bouncy tits. It's about a boy who falls in love with music and his journey into finding his place in life. And it's got some incredible music, incredible songs, and it's just a great piece of slice of life.
I'd bet my life that none of you have got any of the ones that I've got now, because the ones that I've just said are the ones that I thought you might have. So my next one is Future Diary, or Mirai Nikki. I don't know if either of you have seen it.
No.
Nope.
Came out in 2011. It's 26 episodes. It's basically a battle royale in an anime. A normal kid gets his world turned around when he gets this diary. He's in a battle royale with, I think it's 11 other people, and they all get a diary that does a different thing when they write in it, and they all have different powers. He's in high school, and there's this girl that he is in love with, and she also gets a diary, and basically he ends up teaming up with her because she's the only person that he knows with a diary. I might be wrong here, but it's a psychological sort of thing, and the girl that he's in love with, he sort of falls out of love with because she is obsessed with him, but she's a actual psychopath, and she's done some really weird shit with her parents and stuff like that, and it's mental, but it's good to watch.
That sounds good, actually. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Okay, so my next one is The Garden of Words. It's a 43-minute long. That's it. It's just 43 minutes. So it's not even a film. It's not even a series. It is just 43 minutes, and it's about a shoemaker.
I almost put this one on my list actually, but I didn't quite make it.
It's a nicely animated kind of a short film, and it is a wonderful piece of art.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And the story
looking.
is amazing as well.
It's really sweet, and it kind of introduces you to some of the more obscure themes that you get in anime. Yeah. You know, kind of taboo.
Teacher student.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's more of a older younger relationship, isn't it?
But I say taboo because I don't think he's of age, but I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, he skips school.
Yeah.
Oh, he might be of age in Japan.
Maybe he is, yeah. But in our culture, I would say it's a taboo, but possibly not in Japanese culture.
And we went to the park.
Yep, and we went to the park and saw the bench or the gazebo they sit under.
Yeah.
That it's based on.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell you which looks more gorgeous, to be honest. They're both just as gorgeous as each other.
They truly animated that park very well.
Next up for me is The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. It It came out in 2006. It's a film. It's about a high school girl who gains the power to be able to travel back in time, and then how it affects the people around her by constantly turning back the time. So she gets into lots of different situations where she's like, oh shit, I don't like the outcome of this, so I'm just going to go back in time and change it. And she does it over and over again, and it starts to affect the people around her. It's just a really fun, moving story, and the animation's incredible as well.
I've definitely seen it.
Great film.
No Game, No Life. In Japanese, it says No Gemu no Raifu. Came out in 2014. It's only 12 episodes. There's a movie about it now as well. I think it's a prequel movie. And its genre is an isekai, which is where people start in the real world and they get sucked into a game world, and that's the name of the genre for that. It's quite a lot of them now that are very popular. It's like a fantasy, sci-fi kind of game world.
I'm thinking like Sword Art Online.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
And Hack.
Yeah, they're just called isekais. This one is a brother-sister duo. The series starts with them playing MMOs, just those two, and fighting a whole guild of people or something like that. And they're playing like 6 accounts at once because they're that good at stuff. And I think they might be playing chess at the same time on the world tournament. Something ridiculous like that.
They're whiz kids.
Yeah, then they get sucked into this world where they have to work their way up from the bottom but you challenge people in games. There's other species. Every species is higher up, and he has to outsmart other species which have a higher intellectual level. And the point of it is to get to the game creator, which is like the god of that world, because the god of that world wants a worthy challenge. He wants to see who can get to the top.
So I guess my next one is Code Geass, Lelouch's Rebellion. It's currently, it's on Netflix, and they just had a new series, is it? Within the last 2 years, I think. The story is good old Blighty, Britannia, goes and conquers most of the rest of the world, including Japan. Sorry, guys. And send royals over there, and Japan fights back.
Oh, it's where the Britons have taken over the world, basically.
And it has really intelligent writing. It's got mecha action.
Doesn't like a bit of mecha. And it's
got like kind of surreal elements as well, and magic. And, next up for me is Ranma 1/2. It came out in 1989. It's a series about a martial artist named Ranma who turns into a girl whenever exposed to cold water, and then back to a boy when he's exposed to hot water. It's just your classic 80s fun adventure anime. Really awesome traditional animation style. Great characters. Cool action and just so much fun.
That does sound good though.
At this point, in my notes, I wrote Monster Musume. No, that's not a good starter anime, I don't think.
Yeah, isn't that the one where they're like sexualized monsters?
Yeah, and it's where monsters are fitting into human society, and this guy just has to adopt them, basically. And he ends up adopting loads of half animal. There's like a centaur lady and stuff like that, and a squid lady or something. But my actual one was Prison School. It's like a pervy comedy, I think. But I think it's one of the only anime that I've actually proper laughed at loudly. It's only 12 episodes, and it's got one OVA as well. It's where 5 boys go to a school. They're the only boys in the school. There's 1,000 girls. And on their first day, I think it is, all the boys are on like together because they're outcasts and different. And they get caught peeping by one of the other people in the school, and they get the shit beaten out of them by girls. So they get put in the school jail, and that's where they stay for the rest of their school time, basically. So there was no point in them going to an all-girls school, which is what they wanted. There was one particular moment where someone goes to stab one of the other boys because he gets annoyed but he's going to stab him with a branch, and it ends up going wrong, and he ends up stabbing someone in the bum. And so he has to go to the nurse's office, and she asks him to take a urine sample, but one of the girls is making sure he doesn't try and escape because he's meant to be in prison, and he refuses to do the urine sample, so she tries to make him by force. And then someone walks in, so they hide under the bed, and because she's been trying to make him pee by force, he gets an erection, and then she ends up they're trying to be quiet and because someone walks in, but the girl gets poked by something because she's been forcing him, and then she passes out because she realizes what it is. When she comes to from passing out, she doesn't have any memory of what happens, so he gets in trouble for sexually harassing her, basically.
Oh no. That's funny.
That was quite a long
Wrong, but
one.
funny. Next one
Last
is...
one.
Oh, then I better make it count. Cowboy Bebop. If you like space cowboys and Bounty Hunters. And there's only one series and a film.
I think it's 24 episodes, isn't it?
26 episodes is the run.
It is laugh out loud. Did you
Yeah.
laugh out loud when you watched it? It is.
Yeah, it's got a great sense of humour, really cool characters and story. The animation's just phenomenal.
It's like
And the music is incredible.
Oh,
It's very
yeah.
jazzy, and
The intro is really good.
Tank by Yoko Kanno.
It's just a fantastic soundtrack. Like all the music in it is amazing, and the main characters are lovable.
It's just iconic 90s anime, isn't it?
And last up for me is Metropolis. It's another movie. Came out in 2001. Made by some of the same people who made Astro Boy and Akira. It's about a boy and his uncle, and they're investigating this wanted man who illegally does artificial procedures on humans and stuff. And then they just end up getting caught up in a lot more crazy shit. It's got cyborgs and robots, and it's elements of uprising from robots and AI who have been mistreated badly by humans. It's just a really awesome sci-fi kind of dystopia movie, and it's got incredible animation. Like, it came out in 2001, and to this day it still just looks like it came out this year.
It is a good film.
So for this list, I was trying to fill in the gaps of where the genres would be. So I've got a zombie one. Can you guess which one I picked?
Yeah, High School of the Dead.
Yeah, that one. Came out in 2010. It's only 12 episodes. It's a high school, but not for very long, high school anime. Apocalypse, harem zombie. There's one guy and 5 girls probably, and they all end up trying to find their families during this apocalypse, and they have to go to different locations to try and stay safe. When they go out, it's always risky, and they end up all killing people, or not people, but zombies. So there's some very high emotional moments where people have to decide to leave their family if they're going to die. But there's some comedy in it as well, like the main character fires a sniper rifle between someone's boobs. He uses it as a stabilizer. There's a lot of fan service.
So I think there were some really cool shows and films on each of our lists. I'm looking forward to checking some of them out myself. That Future Diary for sure sounded really good.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch some of Sam's suggestions. Not for the fan service, for the story. They better have gripping stories, Sam.
Enjoy the ride. So if this one goes well, I guess we'll do other top 10s in the future for more specific, or our favourites if people want it.
I think, for the next, if we do our next top 10, we could do our personal favourites. I think that would be good.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed these lists, let us know. You can email us at wayoftheanimepodcast@gmail.com.
I'm still waiting.
And if you want to check out any of the shows we mentioned, I'll put locations of where you can stream them in the description below. Maybe one of you say just, we hope these recommendations have been helpful.
We hope these recommendations have been helpful.
We hope these recommendations have been helpful. Now you can put that all together so we're all saying it.
We've been Way of the Anime. Thanks for listening.